The xBrat Trading Buddy, providing operational landscape that every trader needs. So imagine trading like a military exercise. You need to understand the operational landscape, what could happen in the future, some milestones, support and resistance, where those confluences are coming from. Really understanding the operational landscape ensures victory, if you like. So we have an AI bot called Ask Logan on the website, and basically it's learned from me, from my videos, probably over the last 7 or 8 years. It's learned from webinars, it's learned from emails and everything. So what I did was I've asked some questions of Ask Logan, and they're coming through on this presentation. So the first one was, why is understanding the operational landscape of my trading chart important? So I've highlighted, really important bit there is this holistic view allows you to spot confluences where multiple factors align, which can significantly increase the probability of successful trades. So essentially, it equips you with the knowledge to navigate the complexities of the market effectively. It gives you that view. So this is the Trading Buddy user interface. So we're going to go through what it includes, and then just go through some examples. So first of all, on the top right there, we have EST time, and that time doesn't change. That's default because everything that revolves with markets revolves around EST time. The next time slot can be changed to your particular time zone. Okay, when you do that, the economic calendar, which is live down below, will change to your time zone. Okay. We then have the red line on the economic calendar is actually the current time. We can see we've just had this UK data come out at this point here, and we've had this reaction down. You can see that just down here, just underneath there. So there's still some more sort of there's more to come, if you like. We know that there's UK data, Chinese data, European data. So there's more data to come. And we can see in this particular case at 5 a.m. EST, we've got industrial production, Europe, but this one is a low impact. You can see there on the little 3-bar chart, there's low impact. That then represented on the chart at that time. So you can prepare in advance. Okay. Now, then we have our correlation meters. So the 4 indexes, basically give you overall market sentiment. So if all 4 are moving in the same direction, it may indicate a broader market trend or sentiment that traders can capitalize on. It gives you more comfort, if you like. So in this situation, we have a mixed bullish, neutral and bearish sentiments across all 4, which is not unusual during this European morning, because when this was taken, it's 0230 EST. So this is the start of that European morning trading. And should indicate to traders really that to be very cautious when trading any indexes right now. And this is very, very important to understand that the correlations really help with that sentiment. And we're going to ask Logan some questions on that as well in a minute. So then we have 3 adjustables, because that overall market sentiment is default, and those indexes give you that sentiment of the market as a whole, really. But then we go individual. So this chart is actually a copper chart, HG. Okay, so what I've got in my first instance is copper and gold, and that's a positive correlation. They're both bearish. In this instance, that top HG and GC correlations are both bearish, so it's a positive correlation. So if we were trading short copper, then this, what we call normal correlation behavior at this time of the day will give us confidence that we can take a bearish signal on copper. So the next one is oil and copper, CL and HG, is again normal behavior at this time of day with a negative correlation between oil and copper. So again, a good sign that oil is bullish, so copper short trading signals will be favorable for me. Okay, and this is those things that, depending on what chart you trade, you're going to change these, but they're very, very important to understand, because you're going to combine these events in the future with your correlations. So the third shows copper and ES. And you see the N here, that's a neutral correlation at this moment in time. And, you know, when we look at the top indexes, we don't worry. We can see there's a very neutral correlation there right now. So we discount that one. These two here really, these top two really give me that confidence that any short signals I'm going to take will be very, very strong. So at this point, Trading Buddy has helped identify a potential point in which to trade the 2 a.m. UK time trading opportunity. We, before that, we know that's coming up. We can see market sentiment is mixed on the indexes, but granular into our copper, we can see there's a positive correlation there. So gold's going down at the same as copper. So, really interested in short signals for that copper. And again, that negative correlation between oil and copper is very strong. And this is what we would expect at this time of the day. So short signals again there. So those shorts for signals for copper are very favorable. So let's go back to Ask Logan. Again, I took screenshots of this so we can see here. And I asked the question, why are correlations important when trading? Again, this is learned from me, but I just wanted to show you and sort of explain a couple of the biggest points for me here. So predictive analysis, correlations can be used to predict price movements. For example, if two assets typically move together, like we've just seen with copper and gold, a change in one may indicate a similar movement in the other, because there's always a leader and a lagger. And you will learn over time that the Trading Buddy will help you identify that. And then again, we just talked about this market sentiments, providing insights into market sentiment. If multiple assets, so if all four indexes are moving together, it may indicate that broader market trend and sentiment. But if not, you could see, for example, RTY red and the others green. We can see there's actually a bit of sector rotation there. So be careful, because sometimes RTY can take over as the leader of the pack and the others could turn bearish. So, understanding that and using the Trading Buddy to help you understand that sentiment is very, very important. I then asked Logan, why is it important to understand when economic data is coming out when day trading? So again, I've just highlighted a couple of instances here. Trade timing. This is for me is the most important thing. Knowing when data will be released allows traders to plan their trades effectively. They may choose to avoid entering positions just before that significant announcement. If you haven't got that on your chart, on that little bit on the right hand side, and also the flag on the bottom of the chart, the vertical line up, you may miss that and you may get into a trade and get wiped out. So again, it's about that operational landscape. Knowing what's coming makes it easier for you. So again, that leads into the risk management, really. So being aware of upcoming economic data helps traders manage their risk better. So if they're already in a trade, they've been in a trade 30, 40 minutes, they can be, they can set appropriate stop loss orders or adjust their trailing stops to make sure they're risk-free going into this data. So very, very important there. So what I want to do now is do a couple of examples. I want to add some indicators to the operational landscape to help you understand the strategies that could be used. But first of all, our starting point is that operational landscape. A military operation does not go ahead until they understand that landscape totally. I can say that from experience because I spent 15 years of my early years from the age of 17, 18 in the British Army, and operational landscape is the first thing that we need to understand before we make any decisions. So then in this next example, I'm going to be using the range breakout as the signal software. Then I'm going to be using the bias depth heat map as my confirmation software. So I'm going to get signal confirmation. And then the final piece of the puzzle is my fresh air. So the fresh air software is called the Guardian zones, and they're multiple time frame support and resistance zones, which are intuitive. They change as decision points change. And that really completes the operational landscape, the Guardian zones, because now we have those support and resistance zones added to the Trading Buddy as well. So let's go forward. So this is the chart. We can see we have the trading buddy already on, and then we've added the guardian zones. So the guardian zones are here. So multiple time frames. So this one down below is green. So that I know that's the 30-minute support and resistance zone. The one up above here, that's a confluence of 60, which is the pink, 15, which is the cyan, the blue, and then this yellow is the 10-minute, because we're on gold on the 10-minute. So, you know, a trade going up through that is going to be very, very difficult. Then we have this bias depth heat map under here, which is our confirmation tool for those particular trading opportunities. And then obviously we have the range breakout here. So I want to go through these two situations where we've highlighted the data here. So what we do with the range breakout is we on the back end, we set the time for the data coming out. We know it's going to come out at 8:30 a.m. This is US data here. You know, there's going to be a reaction. Okay. Now, when we look at the correlations here, we can see NQ and ES are very, very strong bullish. YM starting to catch up. I would say NQ is leading here, then ES, YM, and then RTY still lagging a little bit, still a little bit neutral. But we're you know, this is the sort of market sentiment that we're going. Now, one of the biggest correlations for me for gold is a negative correlation. So when ES is going up, gold goes down. That's one of the standard correlations that we can see. And I can see that from my meter here. Very, very strong. So I'm at this data point here, I'm not interested in any longs, because again, the longs really can't push through that resistance. There's a combination there, that confluence of 60, 15 and 10-minute support resistance zone there. We identify that opening range. You can see this multicolored line here. So I'm only interested in the shorts. Okay. Now I've got a little bit of support underneath here. So I'm going to let data happen. I understand it's happened. I've got a signal. And pretty much at this point, as we're coming towards this support zone, 5 out of 6 are red on my confirmation tool. And I've got lots of fresh air because at that point, this support zone wasn't even being printed. So, you know, I would enter just underneath this. This is where the operational landscape comes in. Is we've identified the time of the day we want to trade. Now we've got a signal generator. We've got the correlations working for us. So everything's working, coming together. We've got then the signal generator. We've got the confirmation. We've got fresh air. We take the trade. So let's go forward to this recent trade here. This is UK data at 2 a.m. EST. So this is basically 8 a.m. European time. So we have this UK data coming out, and it's big data. It's GDP. So we can see on here at this point we have 3 bars. So this is high impact. Okay. We can see here on the times just at the top here, the 0441 EST when I took the screenshot. AST is where I live in Dubai, and that's 1341 in the afternoon. So what we do is, again, we're ready, we're waiting. We know there's UK data coming out. We let that first that 10-minute happen. We basically get what's called a neutral opening range here for that data, and then that's confirmed by neutral, bullish and bearish on the bias depth heat map. So normally what we would use here is a straddle trade. So in reality, what we would do is put a stop market order above to take the long and a stop market order below to take the short. However, when I look at my correlations, I'm only interested in short trades for GC. Okay, I'm fully bearish. And then I've got that negative correlation, that normal behavior. So I'm not interested in that long at that point. I'm only interested in the short. And that's what happened. The short came down. It actually broke through this this zone in the end. Again, a sensible strategy would be to take profit at that zone, but it did break through at this point going into that Chinese data as well. Okay, so that's one example. So again, we're going to start with a different type of signal software this time. We're going to look at, Trading Buddy's got the operational landscape covered. Then we're going to use the signal softwares called the VWAP Predator. This is a really momentum type of trading signal. Again, we're going to use that bias depth heat map for that confirmation software, and we're going to use that Guardian zones for those multiple time frame automated support and resistance zones, which completes that operational landscape. So in this situation here, we know from the calendar, and again, the correlations don't really match at this point. So I went back in time to find a really good explanation so we can understand where that comes in. But the main thing is that we have the US data down here. We're ready for that. Previous to that, we're pretty scrappy. It's going sideways. Look at that bias depth heat map. No real direction. But then that is the catalyst. We understand there's been a catalyst for a move, and that's started to move up. Now we need a signal. The VWAP predator gives us a buy signal here. However, we have a 60-minute resistance zone up above, so we're not going to react straight away. We need it to get through that. When it starts to go through that, that's when we're interested in taking a long trade. Now we get Canadian data come out, and it starts to really push and through, and we see the very next candle after Canadian data is here on this smaller candle. The next candle is where we'd be entering above that support and resistance zone. So let's just work back through there. Again, we know US data's coming out 8:30. Okay, it's on our chart. Not every time, not every 8:30 is US data, but we know this is coming out. This could be the catalyst. It was the catalyst for the move up, but we need a signal. The VWAP predator gives us a signal, but we're not going to go long into that resistance. What we need is further movement up. We can understand that movement is then given, I would say, we call this confluence. It's like tributaries. We've got another tributary opened, which is feeding that directional flow, and it's pushing it through that resistance. So I just put a stop market order in that. I'm understanding the behavior, and then it pushes through and takes the trade. So hopefully you can understand how the trading buddy provides that operational landscape with that economic calendar, puts them on the chart as well. And those correlations are very, very important to understand if the behavior is normal or not. It's, it will help you make that decision that I'm only interested in short trades, or I'm only interested in long trades. Oh, I'm not interested. There's neutral biases everywhere. There's neutral correlations. Now is the time not to trade. So check out the links below for the Trading Buddy from the NinjaTrader platform, but also those other, the range breakout, the VWAP predator, the bias depth heat map, and the Guardian zones. All those links are down below, because together they make, they're all separate indicators, but together they make a very, very strong trading strategy. But everybody really should have the Trading Buddy, that operational landscape, understanding how the land lies, how how that market is behaving is very, very important.